Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's jump right in. We're looking at this really confusing situation in workplaces right now. It's a contradiction. On one side, you've got this massive, huge uptake of generative AI tools. Our sources are saying AI use has like doubled since just 2023.
Yeah, doubled. And the number of companies using AI for, entire processes, that's nearly doubled too. Everyone's jumping on board. Use the tech. That's the message.
Exactly. Use the tech. But here's the other side of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Despite all this activity, all this enthusiasm, the actual return, the ROI, it's almost zero.
Zero. That sounds dramatic.
Well, we looked at this MIT Media Lab report, and it's pretty stark. 95%.
Wow.
95% of organizations are reporting basically no measurable return on all this AI investment. It's a huge gap, right? Given the cost, the hype.
Okay, so that's the puzzle. Everyone's using it. The activity is through the roof, but no value, or at least no measurable value. What's going on? What's like gumming up the works?
Our sources are pointing to something specific, a phenomenon that researchers have actually given a name to now.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
They're calling it Workslop.
Workslop. Okay, tell me about that.
So Workslop, that's our focus for this deep dive. Essentially, it's AI-generated stuff, could be text, summaries, reports, whatever, that looks like real work. It might even look polished.
Okay, like grammatically perfect, formatted nicely.
Exactly. But, and this is the key part, it's missing something crucial. Substance, maybe context, the specific details needed to actually, move things forward. It masquerades as useful work.
Ah, so it looks good on the surface, but when you dig in,
there's nothing really there.
Yeah.
Or worse, it actually takes more effort to fix it, to add the missing pieces, than it would have to just create it properly from the start.
And that leads to the really damaging part, I guess. The core mechanism.
Precisely. Workslop is basically, it's a transfer of effort. The person sending it, the creator, they use the AI to offload their own thinking.
They don't have to wrestle with the prompt or refine the output or add their own insights.
Right. They skip the hard cognitive part. But the AI doesn't make the work disappear. It just pushes the real work, the interpretation, figuring out the context, making corrections onto the person receiving it.
So it goes downstream, the sender saves time, the receiver pays the price.
You got it. So if you, listening right now, have ever gotten an email or maybe a document, and at first glance you thought, oh, great, this looks done.
Yeah.
But then the more you read, the more you felt confused or frustrated. Like, what exactly does this person want? Or why do they send me this generic block of text?
I think I know that feeling.
Then you've probably been workslopped. It's like the ultimate way to pass the cognitive buck.
Okay, workslop. It sounds maybe like just an annoyance, but you're saying this is bigger. Like an organizational scale problem?
Oh, absolutely. Let's look at the data. This isn't just a few anecdotes. We're drawing on research from Better Up Labs and the Stanford Social Media Lab. They surveyed over 1,100 full-time employees in the U.S.
Okay. And what did they find? How common is this workslop stuff?
It's pretty widespread. Get this. 41% of workers said they ran into workslop just in the last month.
41%. So almost half the workforce is dealing with this regularly.
Regularly. And when they kind of estimate how much of the content they receive qualifies, they figure about 15.4% of everything coming in emails, reports, you name it.
So roughly 1 out of every 6 things you open might be workslop.
Yeah. Likely going to cost you extra time and effort to figure out or fix.
And where does it mostly happen? Is it like managers dumping generic stuff downwards? Or is it more peer-to-peer?
It's actually mostly peer-to-peer, horizontal. That accounts for about 40% of these incidents.
Interesting. So colleagues using AI as a shortcut when dealing with each other?
Seems like it. But managers aren't off the hook, either receiving it or sending it.
Right.
It flows upwards, from direct reports to managers about 18% of the time, maybe as a way to show activity without real substance.
Could be, like ticking a box.
Yeah. And it flows down from managers to their teams about 16% of the time. And the sectors feeling it most seems to be professional services and technology.
Which makes sense, right? That's where AI adoption is probably highest and communication needs to be fast.
Exactly, the pressure cooker environments.
This whole idea of offloading thinking, it rings a bell. It's not entirely new. This anxiety about technology making us lazy, is it?
No, not at all. That's a really important point. There's historical context here.
Like Socrates worrying about writing, destroying memory.
Precisely. He thought relying on written text would mean people wouldn't bother remembering things themselves. And much later, you had Nicholas Carr asking, is Google making us stupid? about a decade ago, relying on search engines.
Right. So how is Workslop different?
Mm,
Because it feels different.
it is fundamentally different, and arguably maybe more damaging socially within an organization. Socrates and Carr were mostly talking about memory offloading.
Okay. Like using Google as an external hard drive for facts.
Exactly. You outsource the storage to the machine or the text, but you still retrieve it, you still process it, you save your brain the storage effort.
But Workslop, it feels like you're using the machine against someone else.
That's the core distinction. Workslop isn't just offloading memory to a machine. It's offloading cognitive effort, interpretation, and context building onto another human being. The sender lets the machine generate the raw stuff, but they skip the crucial human part, making sense of it, tailoring it, ensuring it's actually relevant and clear for the recipient.
So instead of saving your own brain power, you're forcing someone else to expend more of theirs. That feels, different and kind of worse.
It really is. It's not just inefficiency. It's like a breakdown in considerate communication, fueled by this desire for minimum personal effort via the tool.
And this isn't just theoretical frustration. The sources you looked at had some real-world stories, right? People getting genuinely bogged down by this.
Oh, yeah, some really vivid examples. You could feel the frustration. There was this one person, an individual contributor in finance. They described getting these AI reports and feeling trapped. Their options were all bad. Rewrite the sloppy stuff themselves, which takes time, push back and make the sender redo it, causing delays, or just shrug and accept good enough.
Ugh. None of those sound great for productivity or morale.
Not at all. And this person actually said they felt like they were part of furthering the agenda of creating a mentally lazy, slow-thinking society. Pretty strong words.
Wow. Yeah. That's more than just annoyance. What about the time costs?
Huge. Another example. A frontline manager in tech. They got some work-slopped communication, couldn't figure it out, and realized they were going to lose like an hour or two of time just to congregate everybody and repeat the information clearly.
So the speed gain from the AI up front, completely wiped out by the need for human clarification later.
Totally negated. And then there was a director in retail who basically summed up the worst-case scenario. They said they had to waste more time following up, double-checking the info, setting up extra meetings.
Let me guess, they ended up redoing it themselves.
You got it. Ultimately having to redo the work myself. The time savings actually went negative. It cost more time.
Okay, let's try and quantify this. You mentioned research putting numbers on it, this invisible Workslop tax.
Yes, this is where it gets really eye-opening. On average, people reported spending, wait for it, 1 hour and 56 minutes.
Per instance of Workslop, just dealing with one bad email or report.
Per instance, nearly 2 hours, just cleaning up or deciphering one piece of Workslop.
That's staggering. If that happens even a few times a month.
Exactly. So the researchers did the math. Factoring in average salaries and that 41% prevalence rate, they calculated an invisible tax of about $186 per month per employee affected.
Wow. Almost $200 a month per person just lost to cleaning up these shortcuts? That's nearly $2,000 a year.
Per person. And when you scale that up for, say, a company of 10,000 workers, given that prevalence, the estimated organizational loss is over $9 million a year.
$9 million.
Yeah.
Just gone. Wasted on dealing with low-quality AI-generated content. That's a huge number.
It really is.
But hang on, let me push back a bit here. Is this just, the cost of doing business with new tech? Didn't we see productivity dips when email rolled out? Or big ERP systems? Right. There's always friction with adoption, right?
That's a fair question, and it's important friction. Yes, adopting any major new tool involves a learning curve and some temporary inefficiency. People need training, workflows need adjusting. But the kind of friction here feels different. Implementing, say, an ERP system, it requires effort, yes, but the system itself imposes structure. Email needed etiquette to evolve. Workslop isn't really a system problem. It's more of a social problem enabled by the tool. Meaning it stems from a lack of care, a lack of quality control, and the human interaction around the tool. It's not an inherent inefficiency of AI itself, but rather a kind of systemic apathy that the tool makes easier. And that apathy has costs beyond just time and money.
Okay, so it's not just dollars and cents. You're talking about the relational damage, the social side.
Exactly, the impact on trust and collaboration. Let's look at the immediate reaction people have when they receive Workslop.
What did the study find? Annoyance.
Annoyance, definitely. Over half, 53%, said they felt immediately annoyed. 38% felt confused, and interestingly, 22% more than 1 in 5 actually felt offended.
Offended, like personally disrespected.
Yeah, it suggests they see it as disrespectful of their time, maybe their intelligence. Like, did you even read this before sending it to me?
That makes sense. But the long-term impact on trust, that sounds even more dangerous for a team.
Absolutely. This is where I think the data gets really concerning. Receiving this kind of low-effort AI-generated stuff fundamentally changes how people view the sender's capabilities.
How so?
The study measured this directly. People who received Workslop, well, their opinion of the colleague who sent it dropped significantly. Think about these numbers. 54% saw the sender as less creative.
Over half. Less creative. Okay.
50% saw them as less capable overall. 49% saw them as less reliable.
Less capable, less reliable, less creative. If half your team starts seeing you that way after you send out some sloppy AI stuff, that's career damage, isn't it?
It's absolutely a career tax, as you put it. It heads your professional standing. And it gets worse. 42% saw the sender as less trustworthy.
Oof. Trustworthy is foundational.
Foundational. And 37% saw them as less intelligent. This isn't just about one bad document. It's eroding the basic trust and respect needed for a team to function. If I think you're less capable and less trustworthy, am I going to rely on you for important work?
Probably not. You'll work around them. Or just not collaborate effectively.
Precisely. And the data shows this playing out. About a third, 34% of people receiving Workslop, they're actually telling managers or other teammates about it, kind of, flagging the low effort.
So it gets noticed and potentially escalated.
And maybe most worrying for future projects. Nearly a third, 32%, said they're less likely to want to work with that sender again.
Wow. So this Workslop tax, it's not just financial, it's interpersonal. It directly poisons collaboration.
It really does. It makes future teamwork harder, which ironically undermines the whole potential benefit of using AI effectively in the first place. You need human trust for human-AI collaboration to work well.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. We know sloppy work isn't new, but Gen AI seems to have given everyone a superpower to scale up bad habits.
Yeah.
If that's true, what does this mean for leaders? This isn't just about individuals needing better prompting skills anymore, is it?
No, it's moved beyond individual training. It's become an organizational culture and design issue. Leaders need to think structurally.
So what's the first step? What principles should guide them?
Well, the first principle, based on the research, is about avoiding what they call indiscriminate imperatives.
Meaning, like just telling everyone, use AI for everything.
Exactly that. Leaders feel this pressure, right, to look AI forward. So you get these broad mandates. Use AI everywhere. Use it for every first draft.
Okay.
But that kind of message without nuance actually models a lack of discernment. It implicitly encourages just copying and pasting without thinking, which is the root of Workslop.
But wait, if, as you said, 95% of companies aren't seeing ROI, isn't the logical response to push harder for adoption? Maybe the problem isn't the push, but how people are using it.
That's the tension. The problem isn't necessarily pushing for use, it's pushing for thoughtless use. When leaders say, use AI everywhere, without also saying, and here's how to ensure quality, here's when not to use it, here's how to add context, they unintentionally signal that speed trumps quality.
I see. So the imperative needs guardrails.
Exactly. Leaders need careful policies. Guidance that says, look, AI is great for these tasks, but maybe not for high-stakes decisions or nuanced client communication or anything needing deep empathy. And crucially, all AI output needs a human check for quality, context, and accuracy before it goes anywhere.
That makes sense. Setting expectations for quality, not just activity.
Yeah.
Which I guess leads into the second principle. You mentioned something about mindset.
Yes, this is really interesting stuff from BetterUp Labs. They've been tracking two main user types or mindsets since 2023. They call them the pilots and the passengers.
Pilots and passengers. Okay, what's the difference?
Pilots are the users with high agency. They feel in control and high optimism about the tech. They actually use Gen AI about 75% more often than passengers.
More often. Okay.
But here's the key. They use it to enhance their own creativity, to tackle complex problems, to speed up tasks they're already expert at. They're piloting the AI.
They're in the driver's seat, using it as a tool to augment their skills.
Got it. So passengers.
Passengers are the opposite. Low agency, maybe low optimism or even skepticism. And crucially, they are much more likely to use AI specifically to avoid doing work.
To delegate the thinking entirely.
Exactly. To get through tasks they find tedious or maybe feel are beneath them. The intent is an enhancement. It's replacement of their own effort. They're just along for the ride the AI provides.
And they're probably the primary source of Workslop.
It seems very likely the pilot sees AI as a co-pilot, the passenger sees it as, well, maybe just the pilot, while they nap in the back. So for leaders, the goal isn't just to, like, ban passengers, right?
Yeah.
It's more about understanding why someone might be in that passenger mindset.
That's the deeper question. Why low agency? Maybe the company culture rewards ticking boxes over real thinking. Maybe managers overload people, forcing shortcuts. The solution isn't just training, it's looking at the system that might be creating passengers.
So how do you shift people towards being pilots? How do you encourage that more engaged, intentional use?
By changing what you measure and reward. If you only track how much AI is being used, you'll get more passengers churning out low-quality stuff, volume over value.
Right.
But if you start measuring the quality of the outcome, did this AI-assisted report actually help the team? Did it save the recipient time? Was the context clear? Then you start incentivizing pilot behavior. You shift the focus from mere activity to actual impact.
Measuring impact, not just output.
Okay.
And that seems to connect to the last principle you mentioned, something about collaboration.
Yes. It's about reframing AI use itself as a collaborative act. Your interaction with the AI, how you prompt it, the feedback you give it, the context you provide, that's an internal collaboration.
Okay, you collaborating with the machine.
Right. And that internal collaboration has immediate consequences for your external collaboration with your human colleagues.
How so?
If you prompt poorly, if you don't refine the output, you're essentially collaborating badly with the AI, and that bad collaboration produces workslop, which then burdens your human teammate.
So being good at collaborating with AI directly translates to being a better collaborator with people.
Exactly. Those skills, effective prompting, giving feedback, adding context, refining, they aren't just technical skills anymore, they're the new core collaborative skills. Being a good collaborator with the machine is becoming a key part of being a good organizational citizen.
So tying it all together for leaders, what's the actionable summary?
It's a mindset shift. First, leaders need to model purposeful, intentional AI use themselves. No indiscriminate mandates. Second, set clear guardrails and quality norms. Third, frame AI as a tool for collaboration, both with the machine and ultimately with humans, not just a shortcut to avoid work.
And uphold standards.
Absolutely. Uphold the same standards of excellence for work produced by a bionic human-AI duo as you would for a human working alone. If the output is sloppy, the duo failed, and the company pays that $9 million tax one way or another.
Yeah, it's powerful how the research put it. Workslop feels easy for the sender, like finding a loophole, but it just turns that loophole into a hole the recipient has to dig themselves out of. That really captures the dynamic.
It does, and that brings us to a final thought, maybe something provocative for you, the listener, to chew on.
Okay.
This whole issue of Workslop, it fundamentally challenges what it means to be a good colleague, a good organizational citizen in the age of AI. Looking ahead, the companies that truly succeed won't just be the ones using AI the most.
Right.
They'll be the ones where people have mastered seamlessly integrating AI output in service of shared goals.